So the month of March is being celebrated around the world as Women's Month. And in Ghana, there's been a lot of activities. In fact, last week, a few days ago, I was at one, which is being held by Junior Achievement Africa in collaboration with Delta Airlines. Today, I have in the studio a very important lady, and she's going to tell us about herself and what she's doing to impact on the lives of young girls all across Africa. Stay and stay. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So I have with me Simi Wogugu, and she's
Very
the
good.
president of Junior Achievement Africa.
Okay.
That's a big one. I mean, I remember being back in school and friends of mine were in the club. Unfortunately, I never really joined because I was in other clubs and it took a lot of my time. I never really joined Junior Achievement. But for those who may not know, what does Junior Achievement stand for and
Okay.
what exactly does your role encompass?
So Junior Achievement is a non-profit economic education organization, and what that means is we empower young people with entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and work readiness programs to prepare them for a future of success. We work with young people from as early as age 5 all the way up to age 29. But our core flagship programs are in the secondary school and post-secondary school youth, where we teach them entrepreneurship, digital literacy, and financial literacy programs.
I like the fact that you're teaching them digital literacy because we live in a time that it's very important. Back then, when I was talking about being in the part of the or knowing about the club, I'm sure it didn't exist. So I'm
Yes.
very happy how you are being forward looking and evolving. Take us through your journey to taking up this position. Let us know a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Nigeria, and growing up in Nigeria, you were, back then anyway, I think it's changed a bit now. You were, if you were quote unquote smart, you were expected to become a doctor, a lawyer, and if you're a boy, maybe an engineer. And so I went off to university in the US thinking I was going to be either a doctor or a lawyer. Very quickly realized that I wasn't going to do medicine because the way, so in Nigeria, I was a science student and I was an A student in science because we were taught science the same way we were taught every other subject. You read, cram, and do your exam and you get your A's. But in my college, as a science student, you had to spend 3 hours every afternoon in the lab, which I didn't like. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to do medicine. So then I had to do law. I went to some law firms for internships and quickly decided that wasn't what I wanted to do either. So I was lost for a while. I stumbled into consulting, then investment banking through internships, just tried various things, and eventually really loved that whole problem solving aspect of consulting and banking, and joined Goldman Sachs when I graduated from university. And it was there that I was introduced to JA New York, Junior Achievement New York, and started to teach. So Goldman was one of their big donors, and they would send us out as volunteers to teach in classrooms. And it was while teaching those classrooms, I was like, wow, if I had this as a young girl growing up in Nigeria, I would have known sooner what I wanted to do with my life. I said that to the president of JA New York, and he said, well, they are expanding. It's a global organization. They're, trying to expand into some countries in Africa. Maybe you can take it to Nigeria. And he introduced me to the international office, and lo and behold, I brought JA to Nigeria in 1999. Ran it for 3 years, and then went back to the US for business school. And 10 years later, came back again, first as a board member, then eventually as the executive director, where we were, building a strategy. When I came back on the board, we built a strategy to include digital literacy, to include out of school youth, and to expand across all of Nigeria. And then when the pandemic hit, we were really one of the few, if not the only, JA Africa country that had digital programs, so we could continue programs even during the pandemic, which was when the global CEO approached me for the Africa role to come and replicate what we had done in Nigeria in the other African countries.
Fantastic. I mean, talking about how you learn from teaching young girls or young people in general in school and wanting to impact, let's now segue into the event, the lead camp event that is ongoing or has ended in Ghana. Take us through what it stands for and these few days that you've been in Accra, what has been some of the highlights and achievements?
Okay. So Lead Camp started when I ran JA Nigeria, and I noticed that the company program, which is the program that senior secondary school students, they run a program for about 6 months of the year. And every time we took this program to schools, we'd be like, yeah, you're going to start a business, you're going to make money. All the boys would be like, yes, I want to make money and everything. And the girls would be really timid and shy at the beginning, but by the end of the program, it's a 16-week program. By the end of the program, you see the girls, you see them, they're the ones running things, taking them to competition, like really having the long tenure of lasting through multiple challenges. And so I realized that, there's something here. They start out shy and timid, and then through the program, they gain some leadership skills that really shines by the end of the program. So let's build on that. And so we created Leadership Camp to bring the girls who were in leadership positions in the company program across Nigeria, bring 50 outstanding girls to Lagos for 1 week leadership empowerment, achievement, and development camp. That's what LEAD stands for. And the leadership is just leadership workshops, goal setting, emotional intelligence, and all of that, communication with confidence. And then the empowerment sessions, bringing different women leaders that they can see as role models, women who are from the similar backgrounds as them, who have now really achieved success, private sector, public sector, civil society. And then the achievement is they actually run a project or a media project and finish it. And then the development is really speaking to them and about hygiene, about sexual reproductive health and things like that. So we were running that program for a number of years in Nigeria. We've seen girls go through it and become, it's about over 23 years now in Nigeria. We've seen girls go through it and become leaders of society. And so when I came into this role 3 years ago, I wanted to make it a Pan-African program and really wanted to bring girls from different countries together to not just empower them, but to form, cross-border relationships. These will be the girls that will be running businesses and will be, working across boundaries. And I'm really grateful because, Delta Airlines saw into the vision and partnered with us to make it possible. So this is the first year that we're doing a Pan-African leadership camp.
And you brought girls from Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa together.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And we're hoping to expand it to even more countries and more girls.
So looking at the African role, how many countries do you currently operate in?
16.
16.
And by the end of the year, it'll be 20.
Fantastic. And I also realized that Jay has been nominated for Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
For me, I wouldn't think about your role and peace, but what role really does Jay has to play in terms of peace and prosperity within the continent?
So when you have to do business with someone, when you're doing business with someone and you're making money together, you don't go to war with them. And so this is why I say for us it's critical to bring the students from different countries together to really work together. Even the students, not just girls and boys, we have several regional competitions where we bring the students in different countries together to work together. By the time you collaborate, like the girls in this program, you saw some of them were working in multi-country teams to collaborate and solve problems together. By the time you go through that, entrepreneurship, innovation camps and all of that together, that experience together, you form really tight bonds. And you develop skills like collaboration, critical thinking, all those skills that go against the spirit of conflict. You learn conflict resolution because when you're coming together to solve a problem, this one will have an idea, that one will have an idea, you figure out how to work together to resolve conflict. And so we believe that JA, if you are able to teach young people how to work together, collaborate, and become prosperous together, they're developing business together, they can become prosperous together, you reduce the amount of conflict and war in countries, across continents, and you promote peace. There is a very close correlation between peace and prosperity. You see that the people that go to war are those who feel like they've been
Left
deprived
out.
of something.
Fantastic. And I mean, in various roles, you've been advocating for the girl child, inspiring young people to take different roles. Also, how important is this to the continent, and what have been some of the challenges in making sure that you're able to carry along a lot of girls?
Yeah, so I believe that society would be much better if there were more girls in leadership. Call me biased. I went to an all-girls high school and an all-women's college, so I am biased. But I do believe that a lot of issues we have in Africa, if we have more girls and women in positions where they have a voice, they are economic participants of the community, we would have more prosperous communities and would have less conflict. And so and using my story as an example where I've been privileged to have mentors who have shown me different things, maybe put me in internships that have said, okay, not law, not medicine, and things like that, and have exposed me to different things I wouldn't ordinarily have thought about, has made me realize that I have the responsibilities to pass this on to girls coming who may not have had the same, they may not have gone to a Harvard Business School or had some of the privileges I've had, but there's still in them that innate ability to lead, and what I have to do is help them to realize it. And so my goal really is to empower as many girls across Africa as possible. There's still many societies where girls are not allowed to complete their education because they are seen as more useful in the home, cooking, cleaning for the grandparents, or being married off early for a dowry, or, working to supplement the family income. If you're able to demonstrate that by staying in school and participating in our company program, for example, you learn entrepreneurship and you're actually making money while in school, you convince the parents also there's that economic opportunity for keeping this girl in school. And then we have all sorts of statistics that show that one more year of schooling increases an average income by family by at least 16%. So you are also improving the economic contribution of that family to society. And then by getting them to a state where they are leaders in the community, they will also be advocating for more young people to participate in education. They will be, women are natural nurturers, so they will be able to build more social safety nets for the poor. So my own goal, my vision is really to empower 10 million girls across Africa to really lift Africa out of poverty.
Great. I mean, last year you won Africa Education Medal. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But I mean, from the examples you gave using yourself, you realize that our educational system is such that it's like what we call chew and pour. And if you didn't get the opportunity to experiment and know really even what you want, it becomes difficult. So what advice would you have for African leaders in terms of reforming our education in general to achieve more of that?
Now, first of all, have junior achievements in schools, period, in all schools. No, but seriously, I think experiential learning is something that we strongly believe in at junior achievement. It's not just learning from a textbook, but learning by doing. So if you want to learn business, you do the business. If you want to learn digital skills, you learn how to code and you code. And so we believe that experiential learning, it makes everybody participate in their own learning and it sticks. And you see the different things that you are interested in. So people tell us, but not everybody is an entrepreneur. Yes, not everybody is an entrepreneur, but by participating in the company program, you see what the head of marketing is doing. You see what the head of finance is doing. You see, and you might decide that, you know what, I love marketing, and you could go look for a job in marketing. So you are not necessarily an entrepreneur, but by participating and seeing the different roles that different people play within an organization, it helps you know faster what you would like to do when you grow up, and then you can follow that path. Maybe, you know, take a marketing internship, maybe you know, work with role models in marketing. And so that's what we provide. We provide that space for you to experiment with different things, find out what you're passionate about, and help you gain the skills necessary to be successful in that area.
Does JA provide opportunities for people to do internship?
Yes.
Fantastic. And I mean, in answering the first question, you said that we should have more junior achievements in school.
Yes.
And I mean, when I was in school, I thought it was a standard. But recently, from a trip we had to the US, visiting Delta, some of the people on the team made it seem like JA is elitist, and so they're only found in very premium schools.
Was that in Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Yeah, they have that reputation in Atlanta. They're trying to overcome it.
So how about here in Africa?
Where over 70% of our schools are public schools or low-income private schools.
Cool.
They're trying to overcome that, and they've done so many different things with schools in low-income communities, and really working with, you know, maybe majority Black populations and things like that, to really shed that elite image that they have in Atlanta.
Fantastic. It's been amazing speaking with you, Simi.
Thank you.
And so if a school doesn't have JA Club, how can they sign up? What do they have to go to?
In Ghana, just send an email, call Junior Achievement Ghana, or even JA Africa. It's ja-africa.org. Send us an email. Our programs are free to schools. We would love to be in all schools if possible. And then, of course, if companies want to adopt schools, or if they already have schools they work with, we find that many companies already maybe donate to a library in a school or provide computers. Bring junior achievement programs there. Those programs can be done in those computer labs. It can enhance the learning. We've seen very at risk of dropout students who become more interested in school when they participate in a junior achievement program, because they see it as relevant to their future, as opposed to maybe the education which they weren't seeing the relevance before. So it's good for the public, it's good for the government, it's good for everybody to have JA in your classroom.
Thank you very much. So there you have Go JA.
Yes.
Thanks so much for sticking around, and do stick around for more content on Ameyaw TV. Bye-bye.